I'm Melissa, and I have a story about failing farmers with a crazy excuse.
Hi, I'm Gina, and my story tonight is about the Big Apple. Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris, and this is the story of an Italian artist who painted the famous portrait of a Turkish-born Roman soldier who is known for killing a dragon in Libya but is adored in England.
Well, what does all this have to do with dragons? Let's find out in this episode of History Bluffs. Welcome to another episode of History Bluffs. It's where truth is stranger than fiction. I'm your dragon rider, Adam, and this is your host. It's Adri. No, that's not Adri. That's Adri.
I'm here.
I get the boxes mixed up. Sorry, Adri.
It's okay. I'll forgive you. How's everybody feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm good.
Good.
Everybody's good. Great for everyone at home. Thanks for watching us. We're History Bluffs. We're bringing 2 true stories and 1 bluff straight to your house or your phone or wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome. We're so excited to have you. Let's get going. We're going to jump straight into the rules. Adam, if you could you put the
rules card?
Yeah,
Let's do
card,
it.
please.
We wrote them down because we're a game show. It's a comedy game show, history themed. But let's get these rules up here. And Adri, go ahead and read them off for those of our audio listeners.
Sure thing, audio listeners. This is what's happening. Historians are inspired by the topic, which this week is dragons. The true stories are going to be factual. The bluff story is fictional. Now, it can have elements of facts in there or true stories, something that actually happened. But for the most part, it's going to be a bluff. Now, this is the most important rule. No audience help is allowed. So please don't pull out Dr. Google to find out who's bluffing before the end of the show.
When did Google get a doctorate?
He's been busy. He's been doing a lot of things.
Okay, all right.
He gave himself his own certificate.
Yeah, and just to be clear, he's a PhD, not an MD.
Yeah,
So
you
I
can fact check it on Google.
Check him there. What we're going to do is we're going to have 3 rounds. Everyone's going to go 3 times. The first round is 75 seconds. The second round is 60. And the third round is 45 seconds.
Whoa, how are we going to keep track of that?
That's a lot, right, Adam?
That's a lot.
We're going to keep track of it with the Round Tracker 3000, which is going to miraculously appear right above my head. There it is. And that's going to help us keep track as we go along. Now.
All right, sounds good.
Everything's been covered, I believe. Adam, check me on that.
I think so. We have 3 historians. We have you hosting our show. We got the Round Tracker, and we know the rules.
Absolutely. And our historians today are Melissa, Gina, and Chris. Y'all are going to bring fabulousness to the stage.
Sounds
I want
to
to
me.
start. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it sounds to me like we're ready to start the round.
We're ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Round number 1.
The piano cut me off, but I got excited.
It did. It's a feisty piano. We only have feisty pianos in this show.
Let's get Melissa to the center. And Melissa, when you hear the boom, you're welcome to start.
Ever wish that you could just blame all of your problems on something else? We've all been there. And people in the Middle Ages were no different. So taking it on back to the 11th and 12th centuries, this is the time of the Crusades in Europe. And specifically in this time period, it's going to be the Second Crusades. And this was a war that was a religious war, was very high on emotion. And the people that came back from this war brought back wealth as well as moral authority. And because of all the emotion, dragons became a big part of the imagery that was associated with the Crusades. And so dragon as the enemy, people defeating dragons, all of that. Zoom into this little village in North Yorkshire. There we go. And the name of this village is called Warham Percy. And this village was known for like agricultural things, particularly cereal farming, like barley and wheat and things like that. And suddenly, though, between 1176 and 1178, the agriculture went down. In their excuse, dragons. That's right, dragons. And you'll have to wait for part 2 to hear more.
Very nice, very nice. Not gonna lie, when you said cereal farming, I was thinking like real serious, dedicated farming. But now I know you meant cereals. Gina, what are your thoughts on
I was
Melissa's
picturing
first round?
Captain Crunch.
I just picture, yeah, right, exactly. I just picture all the little wheat farmers going, "Oh man, this year was not so good. We need something to tell them," and then like they use dragons as an excuse. I mean, perfect. It is perfect because nobody really has ever seen a dragon. No one has. I mean, but yet they're on flags and things like that. So maybe perhaps they really did exist. I could see that. So far, plausible. Great. I love a good sneaky, like a little scammy kind of thing. So go for it. That's great.
I agree with Gina. Chris, can we get your 2 cents?
Excuse me. Yes, once I stop choking.
Scorching case of dragons.
Yes.
Yeah.
I blame the dragons. Harken back to the Second Crusade. You know, they say the sequel is never as good as the first, but who knows? They brought more stuff back. You know, here from the First Crusade. So there's something there. It's very plausible. I like the opening.
I did too. Very good, Melissa. Because if you're bluffing, that was nice. You tricked us
it was
all.
a really good setup.
Everybody's
Very
on
good.
board. Love it.
Definitely. All right, let's move it right along to our second historian, Gina. Why don't you come in the center here? When you hear the boom, you know what to do.
This is the part where it will all go downhill. Okay, so picture this. A few hundred years ago, New York City, on November 25th. It was a very cold evening, but it was clear. No snow, no rain, anything like that. At 8:42 p.m., the first call of the evening came into the New York City Fire Department that there was a fire in one of the hotels in downtown, right on Broadway, where a lot of the theaters also were. Between 8:42 and 11:07 p.m., there were 12 more similar calls that came into the New York City Fire Department. Several other hotels also on fire. A museum also on fire. So this started to spread throughout New York City. It happened within 3 hours. It ruined about 500 buildings, and it went down several city blocks, over 3 square miles, all in total. They had their hands full trying to figure all of this out. And in the meantime, next to one of the hotels that was on fire, in fact, called the L'Orange, is the Winter Garden Theater, which is on Broadway. And that one had a play going on called Julius Caesar. And one of the actors realized what was going on, recognized that there was a fire going on next door, and calmed the audience. And I'll tell you more soon.
Okay, that was another really good setup for the first round. Chris, what are your opinions?
Well, I immediately realized that he wasn't allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater because it's against the law.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you can't do
So
that.
he just probably started yelling, calm, and it worked. Yes, interesting. We have cereal farming in the opening story and now cereal arsony in the second story. So
Yep.
Was that what it's called?
we have a
Arsenic.
pattern.
Yes, very solid points.
And individually, it's arsenic.
Oh,
Thank you, Adam. Very, very timely. What is it called? The
rim shot.
Rib shot. Yes.
The rim shot.
Melissa, what do you think about Gina's first round?
Yeah. So far, nothing's sparking my interest for a red flag quite
There
yet.
it is.
But I love the specifics. In like 2 hours of getting calls for that, from 8:42 to 11:07, that's over 2 hours of calls of people with the fires. It's a long time to just be taking calls about the fires.
I mean, I feel like they also sent people out to deal with them. Like they weren't.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Hey, we don't have enough yet. We got to.
We got a threshold.
It's a supply-demand economy, you know.
Yeah, that's how it works in New York City.
They're just picking up. Oh, there's a fire. Thanks for letting us know. We'll get to it eventually.
Goodbye.
Put it on the list.
Goodbye.
Forget about it.
All right. Well, we've got 2 lights filled into the round tracker 3000.
Yes.
That means that Chris, it's your turn to come up. You know what to do when you hear the boom.
I do. All right. So this is the story of Paolo Uccello. He was an Italian painter and mathematician who was notable for his pioneering work in visual perspective in art. He was actually born Paolo di Dono, and I'll get to his name that we know him now as. in a little bit. But he worked in the late Gothic tradition, which means he wore a lot of black and was always in a pissy mood. But he was in the early Renaissance period, and he's most well known for painting the imagery of Saint George and the Dragon. However, when he started, Uccello was in Florence, and he was asked to paint a number of scenes, and got famous locally, and became one of the favorite painters of the House of Medici, which, as anyone knows European history, that's one of the most, if not the richest family in all of Europe during that period. Uccello loved to paint animals, and he kept a wide variety of pictures of animals in his work. And his love for birds is what led to his nickname, Paolo Uccelli, which is how he became known throughout the rest of his life, which means Paul of the Birds. He also succeeded in painting trees in their natural color, which apparently was a skill that was difficult for many of his predecessors. So he became known now as painting with better color and with perspective and depth in his paintings. But all of that, I'll tell you how if today he'd be pissed. I'll get there.
Like drunk or like angry?
No, angry.
Okay.
He'd be pissed. Round two.
Interesting trivia fact is if the Medici family hired you to or commissioned you to do a painting, somewhere in your painting there must be an orange. The end. That's all. I have nothing to say about your story just yet, except that somehow I'm related to them, and I didn't see any of their money though. So
did you get an orange?
Yes, every year.
How about
Wow. That's really interesting. And good to know for future, stories. Melissa, what do you think about Chris's first round?
Yeah, interesting so far. I picture though, like how it must have felt being a painter in the Renaissance, where it's like, oh yeah, there's Da Vinci. He paints a magnificent people with like detail. There's Michelangelo. He did the ceiling. That guy over there, he's good with trees.
Poor guy.
No,
He's contracted to an orange.
Whatever. It means he can sell at Ross, TJ Maxx, all the places.
He does hotel rooms.
Yeah, he does hotel rooms. I like how all of Adam's voices tonight are New York.
I say we went to New York City. We got a story there. I'm hanging on to it. I love it.
Adam, what are your thoughts on round one?
Yeah,
Round one has been an amazing display of geographical wonder. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
My favorite part was proposing a sequel for the Crusades, because maybe that is what we need in this world right now. We need more Crusades. Let's do
I'll
some
tell
more
you
Crusades.
what, nobody expects it.
No one. Wait, I think that's the Inquisition, though.
It's not the same thing. No.
You know what, though?
That was also rude.
I'll give you that. No one is expecting another crusade. No one.
Well, there are certain people.
Oh no, geez. Okay.
Oh,
that's not. Wait, hold on. We got to put the host back in the host box here.
Hey,
there you go,
there I
Adri. Look, the round tracker's full. Holy
It
smokes.
sure is. Yeah. What do you say we move to round two?
Hey, let's do it. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for round number 2. There we go.
There we go.
We are in round number 2. And Adri, I'm going to use a different timer this time with fewer seconds.
Yes, you are. It's going to be 60 seconds this time.
That's
Melissa,
right.
come to the center, and you know what to do.
Okay. Hold
wait.
on here. Wait. Oh, no, we're good. Let's do it. I'm ready. Here it comes.
All right, so we're in this village called Warham Percy, and again, people in this village are blaming dragons for their failure in crops. According to written accounts, they are saying that basically the account goes that a dragon lived in the nearby hills, and at nighttime, the dragon flew over their fields and its breath ruined the soil. And that was the excuse that the people in this village had, which drew the attention of the archbishop at the time. This was Archbishop Roger of Bishop's Bridge. Originally, he was born in Normandy, but he ends up going to this village and he consecrates the fields, and he actually invokes the protection of saints, particularly Saint George, tie into Chris's story, because he famously defeated a dragon. But he wasn't the only person to get involved. The Lord Percy, who the village is named after, came into town and also had a few things to say.
Oh boy. I forgot I was a host for a second. I was so into the story. Sorry.
Right? I'm picturing it.
Yeah, well, I'm picturing like they're blaming this poor dragon who clearly has halitosis for ruining the whole farm. That's crazy. Gina, what do you think?
I think you invite dragons or anyone to fight your town when you call your town Warham Percy. Like, we just want a war. Warham. Like, let's get
It's in the name, folks.
It's in the name.
Asking for trouble. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I was intrigued by the Archbishop. Apparently, he was Archbishop Roger. He could have been a JetBlue pilot, Archbishop Roger.
Yeah.
That
is a very plain name. But
yeah,
also Saint George. So,
yeah, from Bishop's Bridge. But Roger is also not only a first name. Roger is a last name. I know of that.
Thank you.
Can
Chris
you confirm
Berry.
any dragons, Roger? Roger.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's move this along.
Let's
I
do
think
it.
Gina is next, or
Yes,
Chris.
please.
I've lost.
Gina.
I think I want to
Whoever
say it's
you
Gina.
want. We'll make it happen.
Hold on. I got the boxes.
There
out
we
of
go.
order.
There we go.
All right, so Gina coming into the center
Gina.
box. All right.
60 seconds, my friend.
Let's
Okay,
go.
my friend. Okay, so there were 22 targets for this evening. And so the police investigation discovered that on the evening before at 8 p.m. In 15 hotels across the New York City landscape, there were people that checked in, told the front desk that they would be coming right back, and then they left. And later, when they discovered where the fires had originated, they had all been in the rooms where these people had checked into and never come back to. And each room had all the furniture from the hotel room piled onto the bed. They had some kind of flammable agent kind of like doused on it all. And the fires had been started with these long matches so that the people could leave and close the door in. And the reason that it did not do more damage than that is because they did not open the windows. So a lot of the flames were doused out because there wasn't as much oxygen as was needed to keep the fires going. So the actual plot to destroy that much of New York didn't quite do as much damage as they wanted to. And I'll tell you who did it and why at the end in the next round.
Wow, that is exciting and riveting and scary all at the same time. Chris, what do you think?
Well, the comment on they started the fires with long matches, that had me a little confused.
I see what you did.
It occurred to me as I look back at my notes, the very first line out of Gina's mouth in round one. Picture this. Okay, so that now is popping up, coming back to me. I'm like, wait a minute. Picture this. Okay, I'm starting to get a
I
picture
don't get
in
your
my
points.
I'm good. I have a picture in my mind. I do.
Oh, Melissa, what do you think?
So I really want this. I know it's probably not, but I really want the whodunit person to be Kevin McAllister, like piling up furniture.
Oh, God.
Like, I got to get these guys, a little 12-year-old left behind in New York. That's what I'm picturing.
It's the only thing that would make sense. That and Billy Joel was somehow involved in this. And he wrote his
fire, Adri.
That's what he said. That's his plead, right? So
Yeah, that's his
we'll
plea.
see. We'll see in round 3 who the culprit is.
I do
I
feel like
believe-
this is a setup for the movie Backdraft. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Wait for it, Adam.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I might have cut. Okay, science. All right. All right.
Chris, you are the lone survivor of round 2. Why don't you come to the middle and do your
That's a
thing?
different movie. Yes. All right.
All right, here we go.
All right. So for the first time in History Bluff history, I'm going to assist another historian's story. I'm going to add a little bit of color to Melissa's story with some details on St. George because, much to his chagrin, Paolo Uccello is very well known for the St. George and the Dragon picture. But here's a quick thing on St. George and Dragon image. So according to folklore, St. George rescued a princess who was about to become dinner for a dragon that had settled near the city of Selene, allegedly modern-day Libya. As luck would have it, St. George was passing through and saved the princess by beheading the dragon. His bravery is said to have inspired the people in Selene to convert to Christianity. All right, so a couple things. St. George isn't English. He wasn't English. He wasn't a knight either. He was a martyr, and he never even visited England. But somehow he became like this huge god in England. The St. George cross is on the English flag. Henry VIII put it there. I will have more on Henry VIII. I'm sorry, not Henry VIII. On the St. George connection to Paolo Uccello in round number 3.
Are they related?
Whoa.
Hey.
It's getting crazy.
The whole time, I just wanted to sing la 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 la. I'm in the wrong octave, but I was doing the Shrek song.
Ah.
I love that movie.
You also can sing really well, Adrian.
Wrong octave. Melissa, what do you think? Not about my
Well-
singing skills, but about what Chris said.
A+ for singing. But I think, do we have allies now in History Bluffs? Because I don't have an ally. So I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is
what I
collusion. This is
What the hell?
No, I think, the St. George stuff checks out for me. So I'm good right now.
All right,
There you have
Gina, what
just
say you,
looking
my
through-
friends?
I'm just looking through all of the hotels that were burned to see if there's a St. George. I have a St. Nicholas, but I have the Howard, but no other. Yeah, no.
St.
know.
Howard.
I can't get in on this ally stuff. I guess I'm screwed. What do I think of that? I think that I don't know what I think of that, because in order to believe Chris's story and to believe that St. George was sainted because of this, you would have to believe in dragons. And now this makes me question everything I know about being Catholic. So I don't know. These are good stories, though,
Yeah.
either way. So
There are
I'm
no
intrigued.
dragon stories in the Bible.
Yeah,
No,
but I mean,
no.
the St. George is a saint. That would have had to be made by
Yeah.
some kind of church, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
like a lot.
Definitely. Well, that rounds up round 2. Adam,
Yes.
do you want to share any insight on what we just discovered here?
I think the stories are all even keel. They could be anybody's game. We don't know. I'm excited about round 3, so let's do it. Let's go
Let's
to
do
round
it.
number 3. And there it is.
There
round
it
number
is.
3.
We made it, guys. Round number 3. Our contestants are going to have 45 final seconds to plead their case, tell their stories, and convince us of who is telling the truth and who's bluffing. To start us out, let's get Melissa into the center. 45 seconds when you hear it.
There you go.
All right, so Lord Percy, who the village is named after, Warren Percy, he's a well-educated guy, and he realized, hey, we're not actually rotating our crops at all. So what you're supposed to do when you are farming is you rotate the soil. So you have like a summer crop, a winter crop, and then there's a time where you're like chilling with the soil and there's nothing. And they were not doing that. So when you don't do that, it depletes the soil of all of its nutrients, and then your crops don't turn out as good. And Germany had discovered this like a couple centuries before, and it hadn't worked its way up to England. So Lord Percy brought this to their attention. He actually incentivized them by reducing their rent. And today their crop eventually kind of rebounded a little bit. But today this village is still kind of frozen in time. It's an archaeological site to learn more about historic England.
Oh, very interesting. Did they know, though, that if you burn your crop, then the soil becomes like brought to life or whatever, like reinvigorated, and you can then plot your farm again? Did they
If
know
you
that?
burn it, it's no longer chilling.
Oh, yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
You get the trombone.
Yeah.
I aim for one of those every show.
Nicely done.
It's a good goal. Good goal to have. Gino, what are your thoughts on the rest of the story?
Well, I feel like how convenient. There's an archaeological dig, not a real city that we could even go and look up right now. So good. Yeah, very clever.
Maybe it's a heritage site. We don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have any red flags kind of?
Yeah, I do.
Poking up?
If you want the red flags, it's the chilling with the soil part. Because like that part just was
Very.
This is like what is the tell your townspeople instructional for that? Because it certainly wasn't chilling. It's just like this is the part of the year where we just relax. This is
Like,
there's no
give it a
late.
break.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just give it a break.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why they
That's
take so
why
many
that was-
vacations in Europe.
What's that? They
That's
don't
why they
take
take so many vacations in Europe. That they're just letting their land chill.
even
So
their
they go on a
farming
trip.
has a siesta, right? Like it's like
Exactly.
boom, time
Yep.
to take a break.
I'm picturing an old timey proclamation. Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah.
Chill
It was
with thine
like- yeah.
soil.
Thine soil must be chilled. It must not be above this many degrees.
The chill has begunneth. Chris, what do you think?
I think Adam's thing I think it would sound more like, if you can hear me, stop working right now.
Yeah.
I bet the toilers of the field enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is a very interesting story. And if the Germans, though, had already figured out harvesting and seasonal rotational harvesting, I'm wondering why it did not migrate up to England, over to England yet at that point. So,
It was the medieval times.
could be.
Secrets of the Kaiser.
Yeah.
See, I'm your ally, Melissa. You see how I did that?
See, if there was only an advisor to the Kaiser, we would know more about.
No,
Are we getting a Kaiser Soze accusation?
we got an advisor. We all walked right into that one too, Chris. Like that was
Adam,
like,
Adam just threw the little softball. Thank you, Adam. That was great.
Set and spike.
Yeah.
yep.
So, that's all I had to say about that. Quote Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Thank you, Forrest. Gina, are you ready for your final display? All right, let's.
I'm
get
ready.
you
Are
set
you
up.
ready for
When
this
you're- I'm
final
born
reveal?
ready.
Okay.
Adam, are you ready?
I'm ready. Here we go.
All right, let's go.
15,000 suspects, only one person was arrested. Everybody had gotten into New York through Canada, and they escaped the same way. The man who was arrested was Robert Kennedy, no relation. And the time when this happened, he was brought to Richmond, Virginia, put in jail, and eventually hung, but not before he asked the President of the United States for an appeal, who was Lincoln. He refused the appeal because this was a Confederate attack against the Union forces in New York. It was the last draw. It was about a year before Lincoln was assassinated. The person who tried to save all of the people in the theater, along with his two brothers, John Wilkes Booth. He was playing Mark Antony in the show Julius Caesar for the one and only time he ever performed on Broadway in the Winter Garden Theater. And that is the whole story. I'm done. The end.
So many name drops, Melissa.
Yeah.
Deep in thought. What's going on in there?
It was during the Civil War. I didn't tell you that to begin with, so you didn't guess any of this.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, no, my jaw's on the floor with this. This is like so the reveal at the end. Good storytelling, but I'm also like, these are a lot of numbers. There's a lot of 2s and 5s. I'm just gonna tell you. November 25th, 8:42, 22 targets, 500 hotels, 12 more calls, 15 tunnels, 15,000 suspects. These number patterns.
I was
Get
in
your
that
numerology book. We need to know what's going on there.
Mhm.
Wow.
Chris, did you see any signs in the storytelling?
Well, I can tell you that you know who else was a renowned numerologist and mathematician? Paolo Uccello. So, I'm on board with Melissa's theory, and so is Paolo Uccello.
I can't tell if that means you were an ally or not. Are you two still conspiring?
I'm somebody's ally.
You know what's ironic, though? This is what I found ironic in the story, is that he played Mark Antony and not Brutus.
Oh. Huh. How about that?
I know.
That's
Nobody else thought
the
that. That was
ironic
my-
part of it.
Yeah,
Gina,
because Brutus
that's
killed Julius Caesar and he killed Lincoln. Like, you know.
but no, he
Okay, I
only
see.
played, he only played Mark Antony because he wanted to date J-Lo.
yeah. So, which she's free now again to do that with.
We'll have to wait for a
Let
big
him
J-Lo
know.
show to come.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Perfect. So we have Melissa and Gina have gone in the third round. So Chris, this is your last hurrah. Let's do it. Whenever you're Adam, whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready to go.
Here we
I hear
go.
that a lot. All right. So, Paolo Uccello. He was earlier than some of the more well-known Renaissance painters that are top of mind to us today. But he really was the first one to master perspective in paintings. And as I mentioned earlier, he was a favorite of the House of Medici. And he became three of his most famous paintings at the time depicted the Battle of San Romano, which was for the Plaza Medici, the Palazzo Medici, as they call it in Florence. And because the Florentine army had won that over the Sienese, he became very famous. But much to his chagrin, his picture that's most well known is St. George and the Dragon. It is actually the best known work on dragons and St. George. It hangs in the National Gallery in England, and they credit much of the perspective of that painting and all of his work to his training as a mathematician. He was able to figure out using formulas some things that other painters were not. So this guy did all these other paintings. He did, this Battle of San Romano, which got him, great fame and fortune. And and now he's known for this painting of a guy on a dragon.
Yeah, some overtime on that one.
Negative 10 points for going over. But Chris, can you confirm that Pablo Uccello?
Yes,
Paolo Uccello is the creator of Paint by Numbers.
Oh.
What? I want to thank you, man. I love that. That's the only way I can make anything look pretty.
Yeah, same. Gina, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know, because I thought in my mind, and this is me, I thought Leonardo da Vinci was the one that introduced perspective to the Florence artistic world. So it's the only thing that doesn't vibe for me. But I don't know art well enough. I should. I'm Italian. This is where it all started. But it is not my forte. I only know what I have seen and experienced, and that I know well. But anything else, I don't, and I have not seen this person. That is not to say that Chris is bluffing, but if Chris and Melissa are going to gang up on me, I'm going to have to say one of them is the bluff. That's just how it goes.
There you go. Yeah,
fair's fair.
Be proud.
Fair's
Be
fair.
proud. Fair's
Be
fair.
proud,
Melissa,
exactly.
what do you think? Are you also on the same?
Yeah, no, I feel like the last one you went overtime a lot. Let's be real.
Negative 10 points for that.
Is that a red flag for
Yeah,
you there?
And I feel like this guy is like, I'm really good at painting trees. I need to prove myself. I got it. Guy painting a dragon. Boom. And that's how I get my name. So I want to root for him, but I feel like most artists have more than just the one painting and the little things that they did in the gallery of the Medicis and the trees, but then the one painting.
I also would. Well, go ahead, Adri. You first.
No, please. You first.
I was going to say that also the National Gallery of England also is in one of my stories from another history bluffs about a heist. Is great if you ever want to go back and look it up.
Perfect. Nice little plug for another history bluff show. Okay, I'll take
We're
it.
cross-referencing. This is amazing.
Well, we've come to the point in the show where we are going to make accusations. Chris, as the gentleman of the hour, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Who is your bluff choice?
Well, this is interesting because, the whole Warren Percy, Lord Percy connection there, it sounds legit. The part about not rotating the crops, though, the realization, while that has already been established in her story, even that the Germans had already done that, was a little bit of a flag. But I go to Gina's story and I look at, the night of the event, 15,000 suspects, one arrest, and they came in through Canada. They got out through Canada. That's.
What are you saying?
Open borders, baby.
And open borders, right? And then they tried the guy. They brought him down to Richmond, Virginia. So there was a lot of moving pieces to that. A little bit too much movement for my my puny little brain to comprehend. So I'm going to say I think Gina is the bluff.
Wow.
Of course you do. Of course you do, because you two are conspiring.
It tracks.
Gina, let's get your vote. Let's see if you're going to make it here.
Well, I'm not just saying this because Chris just said that. I'm saying it because Lord Percy sounds real to me, and that is what I am hanging my hat on for this one. So therefore, Chris is bluffing. There we go.
Okay, we've got one vote for Gina.
Yep.
One vote for Chris. Melissa, it's your turn to choose someone. Who's it going to be?
It's hard. Because there are parts of both of their stories that I was like, I don't know about that. But Chris did color in the paintings pretty well. I feel like it kind of matches the vibe of other Gothic Renaissance artists that I've seen. I'm gonna say I think Gina's story about fires was blowing smoke a little bit.
Aren't you gonna feel silly when later this girl is on fire?
Wow, I love it. Well, it's come to the point in the show where I need to go bye-bye. Adam is the only person that knows who the bluff is. Adam, it's all you.
Okay. Well, I've got the prospective bluffers or truthers lined up into the lineup of suspicion, and I will ask now the question everyone wants to know the answer to. Was your bluff Melissa? Was your bluff Gina? Or was your bluff Chris? Let's find out. Your bluff this whole time, it was Melissa! And she got away scot-free. Not a single accusation. Well done, Melissa.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Come on back to the virtual stage, Adri.
Wow. I am flabbergasted. I cannot believe Gina's story is real.
I know.
Oh, yeah, me neither. I was so happy to
wild.
find it.
That's wild. Good for you. Very well done. Very well done.
And that is the whole crux of the game, is for the truthers to bring to the table stories that are, well, truth is stranger than fiction.
Absolutely.
Wait, so should I win then? No, I'm just kidding.
In a way you do, because you drew votes away. So you are a winner, but the winner is Melissa.
The winner.
Who
that was
hoodwinked
well
everyone. So well done, Melissa.
Well done.
Yeah.
He read it and everything like it was real, like it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching tonight. This has been History Bluffs. We hope you had a good time. Please like us on Instagram and Facebook and wherever else you're seeing us. We'll see you next time.
We will see you next time. Like she said, catch us where you get your audio podcasts also. We're there. Laugh and learn with us every week. See you then.